get into it, well, let's talk about it. All day in the bank, let's talk about it. Spend a few checks, talking cheap change, well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Heard you get into it, well, let's talk about it. All day in the bank, let's talk about it. Spend a few checks, talking cheap change, well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey everybody.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Hey everybody. Ladies room.
Happy Sunday.
How's everybody doing tonight? Good. All right. Well, my name is Terry Deneen, guys, and I thank you guys so much for tuning in with us tonight, coming to hang out with us for a few. I got my lovely friends here, my lovely ladies that I'm bringing together to talk about some misnomers and things that affect us as women of color. And we have our special guest, Marvin Gibson, tonight, so he could offer us the male perspective. So they're ready to turn up. And before we get started, I just want to tell you guys, I just want to put a disclaimer out there that we are no professionals in any field we're going to talk about. We are not experts. We are women who have lost and just been through some stuff, and we have things to talk about. And so please come in and join in on the difficult conversations. And for our show tonight, here's what we're going to be talking about. These are our hot topics. We are going to be talking about the Wall Street journalist that wrote the op-ed about Jill Biden. We'll talk about that. And then we have a Kevin Samuels. I don't want to blow him up right now, and you'll understand when we get into it. But this guy apparently has a YouTube channel where he just totally disparages a woman. And it's just, we'll talk about that. And then we're going to talk about toxic people. We all have them in our lives and how we can deal with them. And then we are going to talk about how quickly or how soon, ladies, that we were comfortable enough to let our hair down, take off our makeup, and do all those things in front of our men. So let's get it started. Shana, let's start with you. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Jill Biden.
Yeah, absolutely. So this week, you may or may not have heard about a Wall Street Journal op-ed that was written by a gentleman who was sitting in for, to give his op-ed piece with respect to Jill Biden and her doctorate. Now, as you know, Jill Biden has been in the educational community for many years, and this is a pivotal time in our country because you have someone coming in who's well versed, well recognized within that industry, which has kind of been hard hit over the years. This gentleman's piece specifically encouraged her to take her time and remove the doctor from from her title and just go as, Mrs. Jill Biden as First Lady. So ladies, I'm going to throw the question to you. Do you think that she should remove the doctorate title, or do you think she can tell him to piss off? Jackie, what do you think?
Yeah, I think she should tell him to piss off or fuck off.
Yeah, that's really what
I'm going to say. I'm going to say it. Fuck off.
Yes.
Now, she earned that title, doctor. She earned that title, and she should be able to use that title, Dr. Joe Biden. When Ben Carson was, in the little Trump camp, people called him Dr. Ben Carson, and no one had a problem with it. So I think she should keep the doctor.
No, I fully agree with you there, especially considering the fact that other first ladies before her, Michelle Obama, she was Harvard educated. She was making six figures. She had to demur herself just from the racial component itself, and they had others before her. Hillary Clinton. She wanted to do an initiative that was joint base for healthcare with her husband. That one had to flop. So I don't know. What do you think, Leora?
I mean, I'll take piss off for 500, Alex.
I like that.
I feel she didn't just earn it; she worked for it.
Yeah. No.
I'm not one of those people who's like, oh well, you have to hide certain parts of yourself just to be with someone, or just even if it is First Lady of the United States. So I mean, to me, that one's self-explanatory. I don't have any depth on that. Like, she shouldn't have to hide who she is. She is the first lady of the United States who is not just the first lady, but she's also a teacher. She is a professional, and she didn't just earn it; she worked for it. So,
Yeah. No.
I don't think she needs to drop. She needs to drop any of her titles.
Yeah, no, I fully support that. Yeah, no, I fully support that. I think the thing that boggled my mind the most about this was how many first ladies had to kind of change their persona in order to be received by the public on any substantial level. You had so many that just had to just kind of like pull back. You had Jackie Kennedy, or even a little bit Nancy Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
And in each case, they were made to kind of like pull back on the things that they were, originally passionate about or had been, pursuing themselves in order to kind of take one for the team in terms of the overall structure for the presidency. I think in this case, the writer of the piece, whose name escapes me right now because he's that memorable.
Epstein. I know his last name is Epstein.
Yeah, Epstein.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying not to give him any shine.
Yeah.
No, let people know so they can look it up.
Yeah, fair enough. But the problem with him is, I think he's just jealous. This is yet another case where you have another male who, couldn't get himself to the mountaintop, and now he's gonna, job shame or, credential shame any woman who dares, take away from his thunder. He's got a soapbox he's been sitting on while he's taught for 30 years. And, he feels strongly that he can make these kinds of broad blanket statements without impunity. And I think the world has spoken up. I mean, look at what Kamala Harris's husband said in response. He was like, that would have never been a statement you made to a man.
Exactly.
So,
Never.
I think we're definitely pressed,
I felt that it was definitely misogynistic, and it surprised me that Mr. Epstein would say such a statement, because nobody ever told Dr. Martin Luther King to remove doctor from his title when he referenced himself or when others referenced him.
And I think he's never done surgery a day in his life.
And that was one of the things in the article. It said, he said, if you haven't delivered a baby, you're not a doctor. Well, so the podiatrist is not a doctor. It was just very ignorant. I think it was ignorant. Yeah. It was really timed. It was. I'm shocked that the Wall Street Journal would allow something like that to go into their paper, because it's was a well-respected page, and for them to actually allow this to be, I don't know what the editor was thinking at this point, because this woman worked at over 30 years in as an educator, as a professor, and she's been well regarded as such, and she's always been referred to as Dr. Jill Biden. I think it was disrespectful, and for him to say, he said something like kiddo.
Yeah,
kiddo. To any man as kiddo, and it was very demeaning. And and I love the fact that everybody came to her. I didn't hear one person agree with this idiot. And and I hate for somebody to lose their their way to make $1 or whatever, but I don't feel like a person like that deserves a right to be able to, and they talk about the First Amendment, but somebody like that needs to be shut up. He needs to be shut the fuck up. I'm sorry.
Many people, these kinds of soapboxes that they sit on, and they make these grandiose statements, which is basically a bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean? Would you say that to his daughter? Oops, you probably don't have one, sir. But at the end of the day, allow women to shine in their abilities, in their nuances. Don't take that away from them and detract from what they've achieved. How dare you?
What's so wrong with First Lady Dr. Jill Biden? Like, what's wrong?
Exactly. What's wrong with it?
What is wrong with it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So
it it felt like another man trying to, tearing a woman down. This was on a totally different side note. And I know we didn't plan to talk about this, and I'll just try and make it brief because I looked at it later. I heard about it and I just thought, let me see what they're talking about. And it's sort of like, I'm not, I listen to rap music, I listen to all kinds of music, but it's sort of like rappers talk about whatever their lifestyle is, real or made up or whatever it is. And Snoop Dogg, who I happen to really love, I think he's really, seems like a really cool person. But for him to tell Cardi B and and Megan that females should not, they should keep their sexuality private, where since the beginning of time, men have been talking about whatever they want to talk about in music, but to try to shut a woman down because she's saying her truth or whatever it is she wants to talk about in this art form. Like, at what point do men think they have a right to make these types of suggestions to women? Nobody said anything to Trina. Nobody said anything to Missy when she had to, shave her child. Nobody said nothing to her about that. Nobody said anything to Little Kim. But like, I hate when they start coming at women, whether I agree with the woman or not. I will defend them just because of the fact that they're women, and I feel they have a right to say and do whatever makes sense for them. And I think that men need to chill. Like, men need to step back and understand that you're not as dominant as you thought you once were, because women are here, we're here, and we're making a lot of noise. We're very loud.
Yeah, no, we are. And Pam, I agree wholeheartedly with that. I think the problem is that a lot of men try to exert their physical strength over their mental acuity. And I think that's where it gets lost in the sauce, because a lot of times they don't realize women are just as capable, just as smart, if not smarter. Okay. Studies have shown, and we can look at it, we can look at the numbers, they speak for themselves, where women have been in positions of power and leadership and have thrived. The country themselves have thrived, and they've thrived pretty, fluidly without major impact. Whereas a lot of times men will automatically say, oh, she's on her period. Oh, it's hormonal. She's responding emotionally, which isn't necessarily the case. A lot of times women are very calculated.
Sure.
Very calculated.
Absolutely.
Catch any woman who's put a dude in his place and was like, no, sweetie, no. I see you for what you are. Go fuck yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look at the Prime Minister of New Zealand. She, they have the lowest rate of coronavirus, and they have a lot of work to do, but she's proven that, and along with Angela Merkel, that women can run countries, they can make a change, they can make a huge difference, and they actually make more sense more often, in my opinion, than men. And it may be a part of it is because they're acting on emotion, because sometimes you need emotion and not that male, just ego to drive things. Sometimes emotion can give you a more humanistic perspective, and you can make better decisions with that.
Yeah, we do have that women's.
Is this a real issue?
I'm sorry, what?
Is this really a real issue?
What?
One.
First of all, we talk about the guy who wrote a page in the Wall Street Journal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Telling Biden's wife to drop the doctor, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But he wrote it in the Wall Street Journal. Newspapers are obsolete, so they make a story for everybody to jump on it and make news of it. It's not a real issue. If you look at it, they stopped calling Obama President Obama. They called him Mr. Obama.
True.
In the news. All right, the title is just a title. It shouldn't even be about the gender. Women
I think
are
it's the principle of it, though. I think it's more of the principle, because
I understand.
That's what I'm talking about.
Women are just as strong as men. So it should not be about the gender. I know y'all feel that you have to stand up for women just because it's a woman or whatever, but it shouldn't be about it's be standing up for the person. Women are just as strong, just as smart as men.
Well, that's great.
I'm the baby of 4 sisters. All right. So I grew up under women. I know what a woman can do. So it shouldn't be about just a woman. Just be about the person. Is the person right? Because if you look, if you can Google right now, you put in Ben Carson, it's gonna say Ben Carson. It's not gonna say Dr. Ben Carson. But before he went for
he is a doctor and he deserves that respect too.
It's not even about that. They throw away a title. They use a title when it's appropriate. We shouldn't even be caught up in titles because you if you want to wear your title, you're a queen. So Queen Lenora.
That is my name. Boy, that is not my name.
You walk around with your title.
That is not my name, honey.
My argument to you is this. Here's my argument.
So listen, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
Well, just before we move on, I guess just to put a bow around this, I think that most people are offended by the principle of it, and I think that because we know how men, try to diminish women's accomplishments to a certain extent. I felt this to address and to speak on, because when you let it go, it becomes the norm. Exactly. And I don't want that to become the norm, that you're able to diminish a woman's achievement and hard work and accomplishments because it's inconvenient for you.
Exactly. Martin, you sound like the All Lives Matter people. Like
no.
All lives matter.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I just know. I don't want y'all to get caught up on a title about something, because then you'll get stuck and you'll be thinking one way when it ain't even about that. Just let them say whatever. You got to know who the person is, plain and simple. If you respect the person,
but that's like a woman. That's like if a person comes to me and say that doesn't know me and say, "You girls," that's offensive to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So titles, certain words carry that weight, because that's the person trying to control the narrative. They're trying to control the narrative, and that's not okay.
We give those words power over us. That's why it matters to you. But you allow those
that's why you have to address it, because even if you don't give word the power, you gave that person the power because you let it slide.
But I understand. But I understand.
We're gonna go on to the next topic, right, Terry?
We're gonna move on. So speaking of the disparities between men and women, and speaking of how we sexualize things and trivialize things when it comes to the genders, we came across, and this is a hot topic for this week, from what I understand. A person that has a YouTube video actually literally disparages a woman. Jack, I think you know more about this than I do at this point. Will you take the segment away?
Yes. Okay. I'm going to say his name. I know you didn't want to give him. I'll say his name. Kevin Samuels. I went on and looked to see what this guy was all about. So I got some tea. I got a little tea on him.
All right.
I'm ready to hear it.
He's 51 years old.
Oh wait! Before we do that, can we all take a step? Can we take a step to the drama that's about to be drummed up here?
I only got a little bit left. Let me go get some more.
Hell, I got my bottle right here.
Jackie, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jackie.
Okay, so he's 51 years old. He's a twice divorcee.
Solve it.
With kids. I don't know how many kids he has, but he has some kids. I went on his LinkedIn page. He has a LinkedIn page, and he's an image consultant. Global image consultant. So he does fashion and style.
I'm sorry. You said an image consultant, meaning that what does that mean? What does that mean?
I have no idea. He's supposed to be this expert in fashion and style, and he can give you I guess advice on your fashion and all this other crap, right? Okay. And also on the page it said he was a personal shopper.
Okay.
And I saw there was a video. I saw a YouTube video about him that they were this person was exposing him, and they were saying that he used to work at a perfume counter.
I was going to say something like that.
I kid you not. I kid you not. Used to work at a perfume counter, and he has. And if you go on his channel, he has several fragrance videos. About male fragrances and what are the top fragrances a guy should get or whatever. And he's also said in the videos that he's worked in retail. So I don't know exactly where, but I did see on the LinkedIn page.
He probably worked at Macy's and little bit.
He worked at Office Depot.
Office Depot. Wow.
Yes, I'm telling you. But anyway, so enough about his little resume, his little raggedy little resume. The video that I saw where he was, berating this woman, I cringed the entire time. It was a 20-minute video.
Can you tell us, Jackie, why she was talking to him in the first place?
Yes. Okay. So he has this show, and he takes callers. So people call up and they ask for advice. So on this particular day, she wasn't supposed to call because he was having a special segment. It was called Disagreement Day, but I don't know what that is. So she calls up, and off the bat, he was upset that she even called because she wasn't supposed to. So she was asking advice on. Well, she's this woman is a Black woman. She's 35 years old. She owns her own business, which is a pet grooming business. She has one child.
Already better than his.
She has one child, a 13-year-old son, and she makes 6 figures. So she was asking him, when is it a good time to let a man know that she has her own business? Because once she brings up the fact that she has her own business, these guys, they become so interested in wanting to become a business partner with her and, wanting to join in with her, and she doesn't want that. So what she was doing, she was dating down. She felt that she was dating down, and she wasn't dating the type of guys that was on her level financially. So she wants to date men that make 6 figures like she does, and I didn't see nothing wrong with that. So and once she started saying that, this man, he just started just tearing her down. And I felt like he was, he just crushed her spirit completely. Then he starts asking her to rate herself physically.
Yeah.
That was another, thing that just made me really cringe. And I was upset with her because I felt like she was objectifying herself because she was going along with this whole thing and saying that she's a 5 without makeup. And then when she puts it together, then she's a 6. And I felt like she was just, not rating herself higher than she should.
But why rate yourself at all, first of all?
Right. Or don't even rate yourself at all.
Right. And whose scale are we using?
Right.
Right.
Well, you heard him. You nothing high.
But I felt like he just didn't think that, okay, she's a baby mama and she doesn't deserve to have a man of that level. That was the main takeaway that I got.
Yeah.
I would love to hear Barbara's opinion about that.
What were you going to say, Terry?
No, I'm trying to figure out what makes a man of that level just because he got 6 figures. What is that level?
Well, the first thing I was gonna say is, first of all, why is he? Why I couldn't believe that she was, even answering his questions. I couldn't believe that. But what I didn't like is that he's speaking for all men. He said to her unequivocally that you're 35 years old, you have a 13-year-old son, men with 6 figures that make that type of money. Like I said, that's a lot of money. That's average, sir. But anyway, that those men will not want her. He said it without a doubt. And from what I understand, I mean, granted, nobody wants to date an ogre or marry an ogre, but I think that, a lot of men don't even look at looks. We could look at a couple and it's like, oh, what does he want with her? Like, oh, what does she see in him? Like, people see your heart and people see your spirit. So it just sounded so ignorant to me. I was like, let me at him. I wanted to get at him. She was so busy being polite. She didn't get him in the way that she needed to. I just shut him down. And I promise you, he would have lost confidence for the rest of his days when I was done with him.
He would have had to create a new YouTube channel.
Right.
Now, I promise you that. But you know what? You know what? I was offended, but when I saw the video and I thought, oh my gosh, this poor woman and things like that. But I didn't do like Jackie. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. The fact that he worked at Home Depot or
Amen.
Office Depot.
not to take anything away from people at Home Depot or wherever because people work. You have to earn a living. But it explains to me why he sounded as ignorant and uninformed
Exactly.
and small as he did, because he doesn't have the qualifications, the education experience, and certainly not the salary or the income level to even have that conversation with someone. She was too good for him. You know what? I want to talk to her because she went into the wrong store. She picked the wrong door. She picked door number 3. That was the wrong door for her. He was not the right person.
First of all, he doesn't even sound qualified. First of all,
he's not qualified.
And not even that you need to be qualified.
And I honestly, I don't even want. We could talk about it because we started, but I don't even want to talk about him anymore because he doesn't deserve our air. Not for nothing.
And can we please touch on the fact that he ain't nothing to look at? Who the fuck do you think you are, sir?
Right. And I guarantee you,
don't put yourself above a 3, bitch.
Yeah, and really and truly, he seems to be bothered by the fact that she made 6 figures. He seems to be bothered by that.
Yes.
And that tells me that and the fact that he even discussed it in the way that he did means that he is nowhere near that level. He seems
he thinks that 6 figures is a lot of money. Are you kidding me? That's normal. That's like
he's busy calling her average, but at the end of the day, 6 figures really could be considered average. That's a salary. That's a regular salary.
On him.
That's not special.
Should we go at a person or try to be in a relationship with a person based off their money?
Well, you shouldn't, probably.
I'm saying is that something that
every right as if she wants that to be her criteria?
But that's what she did in the beginning. That's what she was doing.
Is that something that you ladies are top on the priority list? Is the amount of money that the person makes?
I don't think it's necessarily something that's top on the priority list. And I think basically she was saying she wanted someone equal to her. If she's making 6 figures, then she wanted to be with someone that's making 6 figures. I don't see anything wrong with that. And it's not about the money. It's about
equal.
It's not about the money.
You can make 6 figures, right?
I hear you.
I
hear you. It's not necessarily about the money, but you want someone that can be in the same lifestyle.
Hold on,
let her talk.
I want her to finish a thought.
Everybody want to finish their thought, but I can't say anything.
No, you're gonna have to.
All I wanted to say is this: she can make 6 figures, and I can make 6 figures. Just because of the monetary value is there, I could be 6 figures and don't care about nobody. She could be 6 figures and donate half her salary. It's not about the money; it's about the person. Don't look at the money. It's not about the money. Money, when we gone, that money will still be here. You gotta find somebody that's real.
But I think though, Marvin and everybody, when Jackie first brought the conversation up, she did mention that the lady had been dating men, and the first thing that they looked at, as far as my summation was that, well, listen to me, was that my summation was that they looked at her as an opportunity to grow. And that wasn't working for her. So now she's thinking, oh, maybe I need to date, within a similar income bracket. Maybe that will make more sense. And it's probably, because she's done the other part. So it's like, but the fact that she wanted that or thought to let me look in that pool is not the question. I think the question is, who is this guy to base her looks on whether she has a right to even think like that?
Exactly.
That's where the offense came in. The fact that she's 5'5" and size 3, but because she looks a certain way, he didn't say what he thought, what he wanted to say. But I'll bet you I know what the fuck. I'm sorry. I know, I know what he was thinking.
Yeah, I know too.
We all do.
I won't get into that right now.
Yes.
But I promise you guys, and I promise you with everything that I know and believe, I will be making contact with him this week. Now that it's all kind of been like clear to me who he is and what he has accomplished or not, I will be contacting him. And I will try, like, I have to have a conversation.
He's going to be on the show?
So, Lene, let me hear what you had to say
Yes.
before you were cut off.
I was just saying, I mean, I don't think, and I agree with Marvin, it's not necessarily about the money, but you do want someone that is somewhat similar, that can share the same lifestyle, that is from the same lifestyle as you. And if you're making 6+ figures, and we're talking like it's a lot of money, we all realize it's not a lot of money. But if we're talking 6 figures, and if that's what you're making, listen, if you want someone to be in the same lifestyle as you and making around the same salary, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a woman expecting that and wanting that in a mate for herself. And it's not the end all to be all. And I understand what Marvin is saying. It's more about the person. And that's true. But if you want someone in that same lifestyle as you, there's nothing wrong with it. And who was he, this guy, to tell her that she can't meet someone like that, or she doesn't deserve that? And I just thought it was obnoxious. They had to turn it off. It was too painful. I couldn't even watch it. And I felt I was mad at her for putting up with that crap. She shouldn't have put it up. She shouldn't put up with that.
And there was another thing that really got me, just really made me even more angry. Was once I looked at the video, and then I looked below the video and was reading the comments that were left. Oh my goodness. There were women that were agreeing with him. Not men, but women were agreeing. Let me read some of the comments. Okay, I got the comments right here. Okay, so one woman said she asked for it. Another one said, I like him, brutally honest. Another one says, so what's wrong with his response? Another one said, some women can't handle the truth.
It's the pick me.
Wow.
It was just like, wow, these were women saying this. And, you know, they were caping for this man and everything that he was saying. And I'm like, and the men were even worse. The men were even worse. They were like, oh, she's a 2, she's a 3, she's ugly, she's this, she's that. It was just terrible. I mean, all the way down the page. I was like,
I think we're giving him way too much time.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, that saddens me. It saddens me because you know the ignorance is what you know, and I'm certain that these people, you know, it's very easy to go behind a screen, go behind a keyboard, and just like troll people, say mean things. I don't even know how you could do that, because even though I hear the stupidest things, this is why I'm not a big social media person, because like, you know, people are so mean spirited. It's like, why would you go on, particularly and on purpose, to make someone feel bad and say bad things? I'm certain these people, if we were to look at their bank accounts and look at their pay stubs, I bet you they're not making anywhere near that either.
Exactly. And that's why they're attacking her like that.
Talk about, and I think, you know, like I said, the guy, what's his name, Kevin Samuels, is a fool. He's an ignorant idiot, and I think that he was very envious of the fact that she had it going on.
He's disgusting.
Yeah, you need to get at him, Pam, because you need to get at him before I do.
I am. I promise you that.
But you know what? Let's be honest. I mean, it's part of his platform, and that's how he gets ratings. That's how he gets ratings.
Exactly.
And, you know, it is what it is. And the fact that we're talking about him and spending so much time on him adds to it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know, it's part of what he does, and that's how he gets his likes or whatever. And I don't know how all this mess works, but
it's like Fox News and CNN.
I want to give Marvin. Marvin has a lot to say. Let's give him the floor.
I don't have that much to say. It's just
so
like
you now, Marvin.
It's just like Fox News or CNN. Like, you giving these people a platform to say something to create a conversation between us, which ain't about nothing, because even if he say the woman is a 1 or 2 or 3, there's somebody out there that's gonna look at that woman and love that woman. So it's all about her choices and where she go to look for these men. Did she find a man who wanted to establish a business well in church, or did she find him in the club?
I found myself on the beach.
It's probably the same. Right.
No,
And
church ain't all that, Marvin.
They meet in the library. They meet at work.
church or Sunday.
It's
Church ain't all that, Marvin.
well, I understand.
It's less than that.
Come
It
on.
really is.
Oh, y'all to beat the church down too?
Now the kind of the grocery store.
They're gonna beat the church down. I'm gonna put a cross on y'all. Y'all beat the church down. But I'm just saying, it's where you make the person. I mean, like, it's where you go to find the people who you want to be with. And sometimes you don't have no.
Well, you know, and she came to this dude, this clown, and that's what she got. So
Yeah.
You didn't come to that
You
class.
get what you pay for.
She went through some other clowns.
paid for that shit.
She
The
went
problem is it's slim pickings. It's slim pickings
Yeah,
for black
congratulations.
men. It's slim pickings. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
So we can talk about the mean people that are making these comments, and you know, I don't know how they do it. It's gosh, the heart must be black. You know, the heart must.
No, they're just small. They're just small people who have something that day.
But I bet you these same people who are making these comments, they sound a little toxic to me. They sound a little mean-spirited. And I'm sure that we all have some of that, whether it's a coworker, whether it's a family member, or whether it's a friend in our lives. So I want to talk about this. Let's unpack that for a minute, because that has a lot of levels to it. Lene, you want to run this section?
What are we talking about?
We're going to talk about how do you get rid of, do you have toxic people in your life? And if so, how would you deal with them?
Oh, I get rid of them. I don't deal with it. I've had toxic people in the past. And I mean, okay, so I had a friend, and that friend was.
Before you start, can we describe what toxic is to us as a group?
We don't know by now.
Whatever the guy's name is from the last segment, that's toxic. Boom. There you go.
Yeah, last topic.
What is that? What is that?
I mean, toxic
Kevin,
is
whatever.
anything that doesn't work for you, anything that's negative to you in your life. So, I mean, you know, I've had friends, and it just, you know, she was a girlfriend and it was great for the time, but she was extremely toxic. She was always negative. And I just kind of got the feeling that because her relationship wasn't working, she wanted me to be just as miserable in my relationship, which was working, you know, at the time. And it was just always, you know, well, what if he does this and he said this and I heard this and that's that. And it was always something negative. And I just got to the point where, you know what, I don't need this. And that was it. I stopped talking to that person. It was nothing mean or anything like that. If they were to call me, if she were to call me now, I would pick up the phone. I don't have any, you know, ill will or anything against her, but it was just something that I needed to let go at the time. And I have never looked back. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think people come into our lives at different times, you know, for different reasons. At different seasons, and it is what it is, and you don't need to hold on to everyone throughout your whole life cycle.
Exactly.
And, you know,
What if you live with that person? What if you live with that person? How would you get away with it?
Get a U-Haul, honey. Get a U-Haul.
Get a U-Haul.
You move out.
You said get a U-Haul. Immersion.
We got you.
No, you get a U-Haul and you call Tyrone. That's what you do.
Get to getting. Goodbye. No,
Exactly.
Why you gotta go?
Why does
somebody gotta go.
No, I'm just saying. You can get the U-Haul.
What do you mean?
What if it's your place? What if it's your place?
Like I said, get the U-Haul and call Tyrone.
You can't do that.
Here's what I like to say.
You can't do that by law. You can't.
A lot of people,
yes, the fuck you can. Sorry.
Oh, wait. You know what? Somebody wants to know, Marvin. Somebody wants to know what's in your glass.
Yeah, what are you sipping on?
Nothing right now, but I'm about to go get some. So tell them to hold on. I'll tell them when I come back upstairs. I'll be right back. After these messages, I'll be right back.
Three for Marvin.
He is too much.
Here's what I know. Here's what I like to say. Some people are not healthy enough to be sitting in the front row in the theater of your life. You know, and I had a situation. I had my best friend for 14 years, And when I tell you we were inseparable, we hung out so much. We were so close. We looked alike. Everybody thought we were sisters. And I noticed that, we ride to work together. We take the train together. Just first of all, before we would leave the building, there's a fight. Somebody out the elevator the wrong way or whatever. There's a fight before we even get to the subway. And then we get on the train. Somebody's reading a newspaper. It accidentally touches her. It's a fight. There was this negative energy all around. I'm not a fighter. I'm a punk. Like, let me be like, I'm not.
Terry is not a punk. I put a pause right there. Terry is not.
You see my face?
But I will do everything. But I will avoid a fight if I can. So. But I have a reason for avoiding it because I know once I see that white light, I don't know what's going to happen after that. So I'll avoid the white light. So it was too much. It was way too much, and
No.
And Lynette, you talked about her.
If I can't see myself.
Lynette, you talked about a friend that she was miserable, so she wanted you to be miserable. It was the same thing. Same thing, just injecting negativity. And then finally one day I was like, I can't do it anymore. I literally packed up and I left the building. I moved across the river from Brooklyn to Jersey, so, just to get away. And it's like, I had to do that because it was affecting me and making me, just not feel comfortable with her. And then it's like, you're talking to someone, when you get to the point, if you're in a relationship, whether it's your girlfriend or whether it's your guy, you get to that point where you can't speak freely because every word you say, they're going to attack it or they're going to have something to, some opposite.
Gets twisted.
That's when it's like, when I have to pick and choose my words, that means we're done.
Yeah.
I can't talk
I need people in my corner. If you're not in my corner and we're constantly, battling and you're not in my corner, then, I can't. It's like, life is too short. I can't be bothered and it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I can't expend that much energy in a relationship, with friends, girlfriends or whatever, for nothing. It's just not worth it.
Right.
Yeah,
it's too much. It's
So the reason that I asked initially, like what the definition of toxic was, just to everyone, is because I've had experiences where someone who may get that toxic label may be toxic, with one person, but I could have an interaction with that same person and my experience will be totally different from them. So I'm just wondering if we're like putting people in that bag or the situation in that bag of toxicity. And I think, because I don't think I've ever had toxic people in my life. I've had people that annoy me or may do something that, that piss me off. And I just kind of deal with that like right away. They don't get to the point of being toxic for me because I kind of try to, deal with it. I'm a Virgo. So we kind of just,
But I think toxic is when my phone. Toxic is when it actually affects you and your relationships. So I mean, that's when it becomes a problem. When it's starting to affect me.
So the situation is what's toxic, not necessarily the person.
No, but it's that person that's causing the situation. If this person is starting to, talk to me and put things in my ear about my man kind of thing, about me and my relationship with other people, or saying, well, listen, I heard, your man did this, that, and the other, or is so and so and so, and why is he this? And just like negative things, and it starts becoming a problem. Then that's a problem, huh?
Do any of the things that she said have merit? I'm just, because sometimes women, I think sometimes women have like, they may get mad at the girl, the woman.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but no, it wasn't that. They were just a negative person and I think it was because, and I'm not, I don't want to down this person. They're a great person and they were great in my life at that time. It's what I needed as a friend at that time. But no, I just think, they were unhappy. She was unhappy. And she wanted me to be just as miserable. And I wasn't. And, it was just one of those things. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, it was just toxic for me. So I let it go.
It was her energy. Her energy is what you didn't like. Every time she came around, it was something negative.
Yeah, it was always something negative.
Everything, the conversation starts with negativity. Everything.
Right.
They bring it to you. You might be your situation might not even be perfect, or it might be have ups and downs, but you don't need to hear or focus on the negative aspect of every little thing. Yo, they didn't take their shoes off at the door. They didn't want to shake hands in the house. Every little thing. That person brings negative energy to you. So you don't need that around you because negative energy creates negative energy.
Absolutely. And that's what it was. It was just toxic, negative energy. And I didn't want that. And I didn't need that at the time. And like I said, this was a great friend and she was great at the time. And she was great in my life at that time. And I think we helped each other, but eventually it was time to kind of then just move on and, whatever. I think, like I said, people come into our lives at different times, different seasons for different reasons.
Yep.
But they don't need to be there throughout the lifetime of your life. And you just kind of move on and you grow.
Exactly. Yeah, sometimes you can let it go if you want to grow. It's true.
Right. Absolutely.
100%.
I think for myself, when I've been in toxic situations or dealt with toxic people, I've tried to be as objective as possible with respect to the person's situation versus what I may be feeling. For example, I've had that girlfriend that was like, girl, he's cheating on you, and been in that situation twice, like before I got married. And in those cases, one, she was absolutely spot on. He was cheating. I burned all his shit. But in the other
Did you hear Angela Bassett?
Wait, hold on. You can't say that.
Did you hear Angela Bassett?
Can't say that and keep on that. We need details. What the fuck? Okay, we put it outside in the front yard, the backyard.
Did you do a bonfire?
No, it was in college. There was a campus quad, and there was definitely
Don't feed into that negative energy. Don't feed into that.
Yes, no, I want to hear this. Shut up for a minute. Go ahead.
Stuff goes in the garbage can, friend. I had thoughts on, like fucking his life up just a little bit more, but I realized it wasn't worth it, and I just moved on. But in the case with, like another girl who was like, oh no, girl, he's cheating, and I had been really good friends with her for a very long time, and I normally had considered her a confidant. And this is when I was in my 20s. So it was before I really took stock in what value do I place on someone's advice if they're not really in my situation. But it was a hard lesson to learn because it was like, all right, do I take this girl's advice and give away this relationship that seems to be working well, or do I not? So I investigated a little bit further. It just so happened that the girl she thought he was hanging out with and hooking up with was his cousin. So
cousins be kissing too.
No, like in this case, it really was his actual.
Really kissing cousins.
So what I learned from it was, because you gotta look for the lessons. What I learned from it was, one, you don't always listen to everybody's gossip.
Right.
Two, some people, even when they're hurting, they do have your best interest at heart, but sometimes it doesn't hurt you to take a step back. Now, you can always hold on to this person. Like this girl is, we've grown apart over the years, and for whatever reason, she's gone on to live her life. I've gone on to live my life. And I wish her nothing but the best, but I don't think we'll ever be back to that super tight closeness that we had back in the day, because one, our circumstances are different. As I said, we grow. So as you grow, things just become different. Your priorities change. Things are now different. And I think, while it was, like you said, Lene, a good friendship for the time that I needed her, absolutely. Now that I'm, grown up, it's no longer serving me in the same way.
Exactly.
So I think,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
The relationship
purpose.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's what relationships are about. Yeah. And that's how we learn and we grow, and we're human beings. And you move on, you learn and you grow, and you expand, and everyone does it. And it's okay. Like I said, you don't have to be friends with the same person or the same people throughout your whole lifetime. I mean, we learn and grow, and we can move on. You know, we
Yeah,
have
well,
different friends,
they-
different reasons, different
as they say,
seasons.
a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
That's it.
And,
That's it.
and even if they're still in your life, they could just be in your life in a different way. You know,
Absolutely.
and you know,
Right.
that's what
So how do we heal ourselves from this toxicity? Like, for example, how do you find your peace? You know, is it
You gotta let them go.
Yeah.
Get rid of them.
Cut that person off, though. That was the other thing I was going to say. You have to cut that person out of your life.
Yeah, get rid of them.
Whatever respect that they were in it. Therefore, if y'all always did holidays together, or if you always went for coffee on a Wednesday with that person, cut that shit off at the knees.
change the narrative.
Sometimes it requires you even taking your own closure. Because I've had other people who knew they were toxic. They knew I was coming to fuck them up. You know who you are. And they decided to like say something real super shady and then try to run off. No. I'm gonna let you get that, you know, because of COVID, but make no mistake. They got a vaccine right now.
You don't get him out of your life. You just cut him off, and that's the end of
All
it.
right.
Very
So let's
simple.
move on. Let's lighten up the mood now. So I wanted to talk about, when you're in a new relationship, like, how does it work? How quickly do we, let our hair down? How quickly do we get comfortable? And I really want to hear from Leora, this newlywed. How long did it take you before you let your hair down?
Well, it's you, Leora, honey.
Okay.
So, anyway, like I was saying,
How long have you been married, Leora? How long have you been married?
I've only been married since August, right?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. She's a really newlywed.
She's a
Right,
really
and so
newlywed.
we've only been together for about maybe a year and a half. So for me, it's one of those. I don't know if it's an anxiety thing, but for me, it's like just put it all out there in the open in the beginning. You know,
The beginning? How soon is the beginning? The beginning?
This is just me personally. I can't speak for every woman. So if you wear makeup or if you wear the Spanx or whatever, like I'm comfortable without my makeup. For me, it's my hair. So like the way I wear my hair, like even now when I'm doing my hair, I'm like, why are you in here? Like get out of the bathroom. Let me do my hair. You know what I mean? So I think it varies from woman to woman. Because if I had a head full of hair like Shane, I'm like, okay, you can come in here because I'll snatch my wig off right
I need some hair.
So I think it varies from woman to woman. Because like when I'm braiding my hair, I'm like, why are you in here? Like I have hair, and I'm comfortable with my hair. But when it's all over the place, I'm like, why are you here? I don't need you to be here. And for me, I'm 130 pounds, so Spanx aren't really a thing. But for a woman who does wear Spanx, I can't speak for that woman. You know what I mean? So if she's wearing Spanx in the beginning or whatever, that's whenever she's comfortable. And you know what? For me, it's put it out there in the beginning. Like in the beginning, I let my husband know, even though I have braids, I have a fro under here. I'm not relaxing my hair. That's just not what I'm going to do. I'll wear it straight sometimes. I'll wear it in a fro sometimes. But that's just what it is. So I feel like you put it out there in the beginning so they know what they're going to get. So if they don't like what they're getting, you can move on and they can move on.
Yeah, I think you do it.
So you still keep it cute at night, Leora?
Yeah, I just have a silk pillow. I try to be cute or whatever.
Do men notice your fingernail?
Huh? Yeah.
Do men notice what kind of polish you got on your fingernails, and do they really notice that?
Sometimes.
But why don't you answer that? Did you notice that, Marvin?
You tell us, Marvin. What do you think?
Yeah, what do I notice?
Y'all be asking me what I'm asking y'all.
Oh, you gotta tell us.
No, because we put so much into our appearance and how we look and little certain things like our nails and our feet and up. As if that's a major issue. That's not really a major issue.
But I wonder if a woman showed up without her feet.
I understand where she's coming from. I understand where she's coming from talking about her hair, because I brush my hair, and I tie my hair down with a do-rag, and I put
do-rag.
Yeah, I do that. And it's part of my makeup because I want my hair to be all right, but
I thought you were bald. Hang on, let me see something.
Yeah,
Bald all this time.
You did?
I did.
Well, I I go bald too.
Okay.
When I
Yeah.
walk.
So Pam, ask that question, Pamela. Ask that question again of Marvin. You said something about
So I'm just curious if a woman showed up without her feet done or without her nails, her toenail, feet polished or whatever. How would that make? How would you feel? How would you receive that?
If her ankles wasn't ashy, and
If they were ashy, yeah.
and her toenails didn't hang over on the side, that could be a problem, a real problem. initially, you don't see that initially. After you got the shoes on.
You said that could be a problem.
Yeah, it could be a problem because when it go to grab it on my leg, like that, like some chicken claws. So,
So no sandpaper, huh?
No.
Oh,
So let me read something from a viewer. She says, "I always wish my husband would understand boundaries. We've been married 32 years, but I still want some privacy!" Exclamation point. As I get older, some things I don't want my husband to know, and I'm with her. I think they don't need to see everything.
32 years.
32 years. I hear her because I try to live. I try to keep it cute. There's some things that's none of their damn business, and it's private.
I'm telling you,
to be private. That's what I think. I'm okay with that.
Give me an example.
I agree. I like women who want
one example.
I the bathroom when you're right in the bathroom. Like that's like why?
You said in the bathroom?
Yeah, women will go to the bathroom.
No. You
should be comfortable.
Wait.
You should be comfortable going in the bathroom with your man in the bathroom.
I've heard women, not me, but I've heard women say that.
That should be something that you're comfortable with. That should be something that's not a situation or a private situation because y'all together, y'all one body for real.
Yeah, but there's
I don't think I need my man to
don't know how he look at you. You do not know how he look at you when it's 3 o'clock in the night and you turn and you're laying on your side and you fart. He's still look. He's smelling it, and he just don't worry about it. Just put his arm around, just hold you, and go back to sleep. So you can't get around.
I don't have a problem.
I'm with Marvin on that one.
I try to be pretty real. I try to be pretty real. I don't have a problem with a man being in the bathroom when I'm putting my makeup on or whatever. I mean, or taking it off. I mean,
I'm talking about using the bathroom.
I don't
about using it.
You talking about using it?
I'm talking about using it.
Sometimes, look. Sometimes you upstairs. Sometimes you upstairs. And it ain't but one bathroom upstairs because the other bathroom downstairs, and both of y'all.
Talking about going to the bathroom?
Yeah, I'm talking about going to the bathroom.
That's never gonna happen.
Oh no, he can't do it. He gotta wait.
I'm talking about no. Oh, that's too far.
Yeah, he's not being in the bathroom.
Yeah, no, you don't need to be in the bathroom with me.
Yeah, you don't need to be in the bathroom.
No, but you know what? A lot of people think
No one's down for that at all.
That ain't cute.
It ain't cute. It ain't. It ain't cute at all.
You gotta wait. You better go use the bush. If I'm in there, you better go use the bush. I gotta use the bathroom. I'm not using it. I'm gonna put tax on it.
What
Be doing it in the bathroom. Put tarp up. This is a whole conversation going on here.
That's my truth, and I'm sticking to it. All right. When I met my husband, the very first day I met my husband, I was ashy as fuck. Okay? And I just came out of the ocean, did not, re-oil or anything. And he caught me going into the pool, and I still he's still here. Okay. So my point is, just be you, baby. Just be you.
There you go.
You can be you, but I'm just saying I'm not using the bathroom when you're in the bathroom. You can do all that other stuff is cute, but when I'm not using the bathroom while you're in there, that's all I'm talking about.
I'm not doing that either.
The two don't need to exist. But
That's
I'm
not
saying
happening.
there may you don't know how someone's living. Maybe they live in a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment, and there are no other, nowhere else for them to go. I don't know.
I think I better use a bush.
That's very single.
Nah, go outside.
And it's one thing if we're taking a shower together, that's one type of shower. But when
And
it's
ain't nothing sexy about that either. That's not sexy either.
like if we're
They
taking,
do it like the hot water,
listen, let me make my
that's
full
not
thought.
sexy.
My full thought is if we're taking a shower together, that's one thing. That's a different kind of thing. But if I'm in the shower by myself and you walk in, I do not need you to see me wiping my ass. Like I don't know, it's a different thing.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
No.
It's a big difference. It's a big difference. It's a difference.
Now he's wiping it. Okay.
Let him wipe it.
I'm gonna be wrong.
Washing your ass. Okay, whether you doing it together or you alone, you're still washing your ass,
It's
right?
a different way, though. No.
I know it's still getting washed. You might like it when you bend over and you start washing your ass. You don't know.
Okay.
That might be a turn off for him. Now you just
All right now.
It was a missed opportunity.
It might be a missed opportunity for you to listen up.
Marvin, I'm curious to hear what Marvin has to say.
You know what to do.
I'm curious to hear what Marvin has to say about this.
Marvin.
I don't have any comment right now because y'all.
Yes, you do.
No.
Conversation
What
has
you got
gone
to
left.
say, Marvin?
How long does it take you to let your hair down, Marvin?
Say what?
How long does it take you to let your hair down?
In a relationship?
I mean, if a lady walked up to you, men.
Let your hair down. You can't compare me to none of this other stuff that y'all talk about because when I come in the gate, you already know who I am. You already know what it is. It's different. So.
But how are you gonna feel when your girl? You just met a woman, Marvin. You're bringing her home for the first time. She's gonna spend the night. She's like, screw this. I'm keeping it real. She takes off her wig. She washes off her face. You don't even really know her. Would you think she's out of her mind?
Do you have a problem with that?
With that? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You said she's staying the night, but I don't really know.
Staying the night. Well, don't even try to be noble here. Let's.
I ain't trying to be noble. I ain't trying to be noble here. I don't really know her, and she's staying the night, and she doing all that. She gonna get smashed. And if I like her in the morning, then I like her in the morning. If I don't, then it's
right.
over.
But does she get breakfast or does she get a coffee to go?
They get all that because I cook good as hell.
What you cook? What do you cook, Marvin?
Whatever you
You
want.
don't care if she takes off her makeup and all that then.
Nah, because I'm not looking at her makeup when I see
You're
her.
not giving her an opportunity to take that makeup off, right?
No, but if she came over there and wanted to get smashed, she get smashed.
But Marvin, the question is,
She came over there to get smashed. You said she came over to the house, she took her hair off, she ain't going nowhere, she's spending the night. So she gets smashed. We're gonna do that and we're gonna figure things out after that.
Marvin, you do realize you haven't answered the question though, right?
I did.
No, you didn't.
all right, Marvin.
How
He
long
answered it in Marvin's true form.
One person at a time.
How long before you let your hair down?
What?
When do you feel safe enough with her to fart in front of her? How about that?
In the car on the way to the place.
Yeah, listen, check this out. I'm gonna tell you the truth. You just said it right. I'll fart in the car going to the crib.
On his way to the spot.
No, I'm gonna be real. I'm not gonna fart, but if I have to fart, I'm gonna fart. Oh yeah. No, I'm gonna put on my little airs or whatever. I'm gonna try to
take it outside.
You know that she want to see or whatever, but I'm not gonna be fake. I'm not gonna be sitting down there. I'm not putting big words out of context or anything. I'm gonna be who I am, and if you accept me for who I am, then I'm gonna accept you for who you are. Plain enough.
Yeah, believe it or not, a lot of men say, I think pretty much what I think Marvin's saying, they want you to be real. They want you to just be who you are. And I think that puts them at ease.
As long as your feet are done.
Yeah, please.
Right.
No cutting on those sheets.
Like they want you to be real. They want you to fart. They want you to belch. They want you to eat a big old steak. They want these.
Go in there and talk about
Please
this.
shave your hoof.
Right. No, that, yeah,
Right.
no, I hear you, Marvin.
You gotta get
They
some
want
of
a salad and seafood, some damn salad. Get the hell out of here. You know you want some
Please
chicken.
shave your hoof. Shave the hoof. Shave that.
Oh, vegan, vegetarian, tofu, chicken eating mother.
There's nothing wrong with a Beyond
You
Burger.
know her ass wants some damn T-bone, right?
Well, it looks like we're out of time, and it looks like that's our show. So, does anybody have any final thoughts? Anything they want to share?
What's the topic next week?
How to get Marvin to let his hair down.
Right.
Topic.
What's the topic?
How to get you to let your hair down.
One person at a time. What you say?
How
We don't know yet.
you to let your hair down.
How to let your hair down?
Yeah, you.
How to get you to let your hair down?
Oh, I'm real. I just ain't go crazy on y'all. I'm real.
No kidding.
Okay.
I'm real.
Okay, boo.
I don't want to smash on y'all because y'all some good ladies.
So next week's topic is how to make Marvin go crazy and smash on your own
No,
good.
I would not be here.
How to make Marvin Hulk smash.
So, does anybody want to volunteer for a positive affirmation?
Well, you know what? I'll say one thing because I was thinking about this earlier today because we're upon the 12 days of Christmas.
Yes.
And, you know, usually it's very stressful. I'm sure it's more stressful this year than most years for some people. And I would say to treat this time the same as you would if you were in an airplane that was about to crash. Take care of yourself first. Put that mask over your face. Breathe. Make sure that you're good. And then focus on the other people around you. Because if you're not good, they're not good.
Amen.
Amen.
Look, listen. I just want to make y'all laugh for a minute. I'm going to go on with what you were saying, to put the mask on and focus around everything because the plane going down, right? And just kiss your ass goodbye because it's over.
What the hell?
Marvin, goodbye.
Did I not say positive?
Can I say something?
I said positive affirmation.
Can I say something? Okay,
Yes.
we're going back to what we were talking about earlier about the young lady that was berated and she was insulted. I'm hoping that this experience that she went through, maybe something positive may come out of it. Maybe she will meet that man that she's looking for, and maybe her business will be even more successful. People may reach out.
Six-figure man.
And yeah, she'll get her six-figure man.
That she
She's
deserves.
like a really sweet lady. She
Yeah,
seems
She
she's
deserves.
sweet and everything.
She's a
Her name,
six-figure woman. She deserves a six-figure man.
right? Her name
Really?
Her name was on the screen. If you hadn't looked at the video, it said Jessica Gardner, and I looked her up. Her pet grooming business is called the Pink Poodle.
Oh, that's cute.
And boutique. So I checked out her website and everything. It's really cute.
Where's that?
If you get a chance, check it out. And I hope lift her up. So I'm hoping people will support her and lift her up and encourage her.
I hope so too.
Yeah,
I hope that's what she's looking for.
maybe she'll find the man that she deserves. Not
Yeah.
necessarily the one that she wants, but the man that she needs.
Yeah, I really hope she finds what she's looking for. Because again, I think that men aren't looking at. I mean, granted, nobody, like I said, nobody wants an ogre in their arms. You want somebody who's easy on the eye, at least according to what you think. Because who's any of us to judge someone?
Relative.
Because beauty really is in the eye of the beholder. So I think that most real men, if they're serious, they see your heart and they see your spirit. And I like to think that's enough for a starter. And then they start to see your, all these things about you, how you are as a person, what your values are, what your morals are. And I like to think that if somebody's going to buy into me, I'm hoping that's what they're buying into, not my money, and not my potential earning, the money I could potentially earn or whatever. See me, see my spirit, and love that.
I agree.
Amen.
I
And
agree.
with that being said, it's been great, guys. Another great weekend with you ladies.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Have a great week, guys.
Hope you guys have a great night.
Yeah, have a great night and a
All
great
right.
week.
All
Cheers.
right.
Guys.
All right, guys. So long. Have a
Cheers.
good week. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yes, you too. Have a good night, everybody.
Heard you get into it well.